What's going on, guys? Nick here with Funfolk Gaming, and today I'm going to be bringing you a very concise, hopefully not too long, impressions video of Doom Eternal. So if you want to hear my thoughts and impressions on it, be sure to stick around till after the drop. Alright, now we can get to the meat and potatoes of this thing. Full disclosure, I have not finished Doom Eternal. I am over halfway through it. I'm about 8 or so hours in, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I wanted to do this impressions video to kind of explain what Doom Eternal is, my first impressions on it, and from what I've played so far, do I think that it's worth your hard-earned $60? So, that being said, I want to just start with, what is Doom Eternal? Doom Eternal is a action FPS being first-person shooter. It's a very, very fast-paced first-person shooter. I've been playing the game on Ultra Violence, which is not the hardest difficulty. It's one under Nightmare, and Nightmare is pretty much the standard for the hardest. I think there may be one more above it, but I'm one difficulty above normal. The game itself is extremely fast-paced, as I was saying. The franchise is known for that. So, and the reason I say that is because don't buy this game thinking it's going to be like every other first-person shooter that you've played recently, whether that be Call of Duty, Battlefield, I mean, the list goes on. There's Halo, there's a lot of first FPSs out there that have been around for a long time. Doom is one of these games that is completely different in the formula and the makeup of the game, in my opinion. Can be jarringly difficult if you've never played any of the Dooms, or you've never played a game like Doom. There's very few like it, but if you've never played one like it, then it can be very jarring. So I just want you to understand before I give it all this praise I'm about to give it. And the reason I keep saying that it's such a fast-paced game is just simply by the design of the game itself. So you'll be brought into an area, and most of them are open areas, that is designed where enemies basically are going to spawn in, and you're going to have to fight them. And the way that the game is designed, the style of gameplay, you're encouraged to literally run and gun. That's the name of the game, run and gun. That is Doom Eternal. That is pretty much every Doom that I've ever played is run and gun. You do not stop and stay still. It's not like other games where you get behind something, you take cover, because they're just going to swarm you. I mean, you can tell very, very quickly whenever you're playing these games, but by the design of the levels of where these fighting arenas, if that's what you want to call them, are, that it's obviously designed to move. There's armor laying around on the stage. There's ammo laying around the stage. Sometimes you'll find a invincibility orb, if you want to call it that. There's things in that area to help you defeat the waves of enemies that are going to spawn on you, and that you have to defeat to proceed, to the next part of the game. And I mean, there's even, there's different levels. It's usually only, it's linear, but there's usually like double levels. So you'll have like your first floor of combat, I'll call it. It's not like actual floors in a building, but you have that first level, right? It's the base. And then normally there's something you can jump up on, and you maybe can jump from one platform to another, or you can jump on a bar and swing out of the way, or you can use the super shotty to grab onto an enemy to pull your momentum one way and sling past him to keep moving. It is a game designed for movement. It's a game designed for movement, to be fast, to be a quick thinker without thinking, if that makes sense. It is designed to keep the player moving. It's designed to be a high-octane, fast-paced fighting. That's how this game is designed. So I wanted to say all of that because if you don't understand that, I can tell you how great the game is. I can give it a 10 out of 10. I can do whatever I want to do. But I wanted to try to maybe give you some insight into what type of game you're dealing with, because I believe that's important in context. I believe that, somebody can see a review on something and be like, oh, that's a 9 out of 10. That's a great game. I'm going to go buy that game and not look into it and just go buy it. And then they get home and they're like, well, this isn't for me. Because every game's not for everybody. There's plenty of games that I've played that have been great games on from a rating standpoint, and I didn't care for it because it just wasn't my type of game. So That's why I said all that. Also, I want to add that if you're expecting a heavy story, you're not going to get that with Doom. Doom isn't about the story. I mean, there is a story here to be had, in most of the story, or a lot of context and a lot of extra information you're going to get for the story in Doom Eternal. You're going to read it. There are some cutscenes, which is actually a little divisive because a lot of the old fans and a lot of people don't actually like cutscenes in Doom. I think Doom 2016, I don't think it had one cutscene, but it was still a lot of fun, and it did tell a journey. I mean, there was a journey to be heard and a story to be heard, and but they just did it in a way without cutscenes. But this one does have some cutscenes, so there is some story to it. So all that being said, I just wanted to say that to kind of give you hopefully, I did a decent job in kind of trying to explain the main points of, what may make Doom your kind of game, or what may make it not your kind of game. If you're not sure, I'm going to have some gameplay going, some raw gameplay from just my first playthrough, my part 1 first playthrough of the game, and it's going to be the very beginning of the game, so there should be little to no spoilers in there. So you can watch it on that, or I would encourage you to just go look up some videos of just the gameplay. Make sure you're not watching the end of the game or any kind of main story beats, and just see what the combat is like, because that's really where the game is kind of different. It's the same but different. It's a first-person shooter, so it's like every other first-person shooter. It's just very, very fast-paced. And if you're not into that, if you're looking for a shooter that you can duck behind a wall and like Halo, get behind something and regen your shields, this isn't like that. You literally have to go light enemies on fire to get them to drop armor plates for you to pick up to re-armor yourself. I mean, this game is all movement. If you stop, you die. That's this game. You have to keep moving. So I just wanted you guys to understand that before I talked about how much I like the game, because I freaking love the game. The game's a lot of fun. If you enjoy, like I said, pretty much what I just explained, you're going to really, really love this game. And this isn't a review, like I said. This is an impressions video. So, because I've only played halfway through the game, and I'm not going to do a review on something that I haven't finished. But so far from what I've played, I've really been enjoying Doom Eternal. It is smart. It is different enough from Doom 16 that keeps it interesting. And I know some people are not going to like that. I know some people love Doom 16. A lot of people think Doom 16 is better. But I actually really like Doom Eternal. I like the gunplay. I like the movement. I love the soundtrack, of course. The music's excellent. The audio's excellent. The graphics are excellent. I don't think I've seen one bug in the game yet. I've seen some bugs people have posted online, of enemies like getting stuck and stuff. But so far for me personally, I'm halfway through and I haven't experienced one bug yet. So it's very polished from a technical standpoint, which all of us can appreciate. Now, that being said, there's going to be some people that disagree with me. So first we're going to touch on the platforming. So these are, what I'm touching on now is some negative things that I've seen some other people talk about in groups and different things and stuff that they don't necessarily like about the game. The platforming sections. Look, I don't have a problem with platforming. My thing is, the game needs a natural way to slow down the action, because there is so much out. You can't just completely run through hordes of enemies for 15 hours with no kind of break in the action, So it definitely needs that break. So the platforming sections don't bother me. If they're going to do the platforming sections, to me, I wish they would have utilized that super shotty a little bit. I mean, I don't understand why you can only grab onto enemies, which is called a meat hook, so I guess that makes sense. But still, they could have used the super shotty in some platforming sections and everything. And I mean, maybe the platforming is not 100% necessary, for as much as is in there. Maybe there was a way they could have done it shorter. But to me, I don't mind it, because either way, you need that break there, right? You need that breathing room. And instead of just walking down a straight hall and just walking and walking and walking, at least I'm doing something. I'm having to do something, right? I'm jumping, I'm boosting over to this. I'm kind of figuring out almost like a little small mini puzzle, can I make that jump, or where do I go from here, kind of thing. So it really didn't bother me. And I know a lot of people may not agree with that, but it honestly didn't bother me that much. I didn't mind it, or I haven't so far I haven't had an issue with it. Like I said, I haven't finished the game. And I also wanted to talk about the Marauder. So there's a lot of people that don't like the Marauder in this game. I'm not one of those people. I sounded almost kind of not so sure because I haven't actually fought the Marauder in a large group pool. I fought him when you first, first one you fought, I fought that one. And I can understand. I can understand where people are, it's very divisive. I can understand where a lot of people hate him and they think it's just everything anti-Doom and it doesn't fit the formula and it doesn't make sense and they shouldn't have put him in there. I get that perspective. I really do, because basically the Marauder is a counter enemy. You have to shoot him at the right time or you're literally not going to do any damage. And that's the trick to him. But Doom isn't like that. Doom, the enemies have weak points. Sure, enemies, can do different things to kind of throw off your game a little bit, trying to make you think some, sure. But for the most part, you shoot them, you get them low, you glory kill them if you want to, or you blow them up, whatever you want to do. But the Marauder is the one and only enemy so far that I have faced that is basically invulnerable until his spoiler here. So if you don't want to know how to beat him, don't watch this part. But his eyes go green when he goes to attack, and you have to be at a mid-range to get him to use that attack, and then you shoot him. That's the counterpoint. In one-on-one, he's not bad. Like I said, one-on-one, I didn't have much trouble with him. It took me 3 tries once I figured out, where I needed to stay at range, kind of the pocket I needed to stay in. I pretty much pulled out the super shotty, and every single time his eyes went green, boom, shot him, and that was it. Didn't take very long. His wolf companion's pretty annoying. And what I just said doesn't seem like a big deal. One-on-one, he's fine. It's not that big of a problem one-on-one. But I could see in a big group of enemies where it could be a problem, because to me, I already know how I'm going to handle him, and I haven't even faced him in a big group of enemies. I'm going to kill all the other enemies first. I'm not going to try to kill him first with all of this other stuff going on, especially on ultra violence mode, where you make just one mistake and get pinned in a corner, you're pretty much dead in about 2 seconds. So my strategy is going to be kill everything else in the room, then go after him. Ignore him completely until then. And I could see where that's it would definitely throw off the pace of the game. That being said, though, if the developers wanted to add that in there to give you something else to think about and throw another monkey wrench into the equation, so to speak, who am I to say it was a bad idea? Because I don't feel like it's going to break the game. I feel like it is might aggravate people, may aggravate me some, but it's not like it's going to make the game unbeatable or even unplayable. Look, at the end of the day, Doom Eternal is a fantastic game. I can't give it a rating because I haven't completely finished the game, but all in all, I'm loving the game right now. If you like Doom, if you played Doom 2016 and you enjoyed it, go get Doom Eternal. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Like I said, some people are disappointed, but I think they're very far and few in between. I think most people have some critiques of the game, which is fair. I mean, it could have done without the Marauder. I think if they would have left the Marauder out, the game would have still been great. I don't think maybe even better. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, I don't think anybody would have complained about not having an enemy in there that's different from the rest of the enemies. I don't think we would have heard that. But the fact that they put them in there and they felt like they needed to, I have no issue with that either. It's not a big deal to me. So yeah, that's pretty much my impressions on the game. Like I said, I would spend $60 on it again. But before you buy the game, if I didn't do a good enough job explaining what kind of game it is, just go watch some gameplay on it. Because if you're expecting it to be like Halo or Call of Duty or Battlefield or any of these other first-person shooters, it's not. You may like it better than those. You may like it less. I'm just simply saying that it is a little bit different, and I would advise maybe watching just a little bit of unspoiler gameplay on it to make sure it's going to be your cup of tea. Guys, thanks for listening to me talk about this game and just giving my impressions on it. I'm going to try to do these a little more often, hopefully get them a little bit better. I'm still working out the kinks. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. So if you enjoyed the video, smash that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, if you want to see more content, more videos. And look, join us on, I got a Facebook page, Finfolk Gaming. Join us there if you're on Facebook. Also, be sure to join the Southern Fried Gaming group. That's where everybody in the Finfolk Gaming community is joined up in that group to talk and chat about games like I'm doing right now with y'all. And yeah, we also got a Discord. So once you join that Southern Fried Gaming group, jump in the Discord also. And yeah, like I said, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble a little bit. And you guys and gals have a great night, great evening, great day, wherever you at. It don't matter. Hope you have a good one. Thanks, everybody.